My friends, in the time of Jesus, women were not invited into public ministry. Teaching, preaching, and leadership belonged to men. Women were expected to serve quietly in the background. But Luke's gospel gives us a startling image. Jesus went through cities and villages, proclaiming the good news of the kingdom of God. The 12 were with him, as well as some women, Mary Magdalene, Joanna, Susanna, and many others, who provided for them out of their means. For his first listeners, this was shocking, even scandalous. Why were these women there? Because they had each encountered something life-changing in Jesus. Mary Magdalene, freed from 7 demons. Joanna, who walked away from privilege in Herod's court. Susanna, a quiet but faithful presence. They did not merely receive mercy, they responded with radical generosity. They gave their lives, their resources, their reputations. They broke barriers. They showed us that following Christ is not measured by status but by costly sacrifice. But the truth is hard. Over time, the church forgot this radical beginning. As history unfolded, women's roles were narrowed, their voices minimized, their gifts often overlooked. The same discipleship that once defied culture was too often confined by it. And that forces us to ask, how many gifts of time and talent have been lost because of barriers? How often have women's sacrifices been taken for granted, their leadership left unrecognized? This gospel is not just charity, it is protest. It is resistance against the assumption of who belongs, who leads, and who matters in God's mission. We have seen progress in our own day. Women now serve as readers, altar servers, ministers of the Eucharist. Pope Francis has appointed women to leadership in the Vatican. The Church is slowly rediscovering what Jesus revealed from the start, that the mission of God requires all of us. And yet, there is more to do. Tradition and regulation are not abstract, they shape lives. A friend once told me how, as a girl, she longed to serve at the altar, but the rules of that time prevented her. She said, I loved going to church, but I was never allowed to be an altar server. That wound remained with her. How much more, then, do the restrictions on women weigh heavily, excluding so many from the service they long to give? The gospel gives us eternal truths. Every encounter with Jesus is a call to discipleship. Mercy is not comfort alone, it compels mission. True discipleship demands sacrifice. Mary Magdalene, Joanna, Susanna, and so many unnamed, gave everything. Saint Januarius, whom we honor today, gave his very life. Their witness confronts us. What will we give? What courage will we show? I think of the quiet women in so many parishes, who bake, who drive the elderly to Mass, who clean the sanctuary week after week. They do it not for recognition, but out of gratitude. One woman put it best, we have received so much from Jesus, peace, forgiveness, new life. That giving back is the only way we know how to say thank you. This is the heart of the gospel. Gratitude becomes generosity, and generosity fuels mission. So today Jesus calls us, every one of us, to break through cultural norms and personal fears. To receive mercy with grateful hearts. To respond with concrete acts of service and generosity. To witness courageously, even when it costs us dearly. If we live this way, like Mary Magdalene, like Joanna, like Susanna, like Saint Januarius, then the church will be renewed, the gospel proclaimed, and the world transformed. And may it be said of us, we have seen the Lord, and we choose to follow him.